Hello, everyone. It's good to be with you again today. As you know, I am in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, although currently just outside of Halifax at my hotel. It's been a privilege to be here this weekend with the UNB Reds as their chaplain. As you may know, unfortunately, they came out on the losing end to the Ryerson Rams in the quarterfinals, so their season came to an abrupt and shocking close, but it was my privilege to be with them and walk the sting of defeat. Maybe you can echo that. Maybe you can reflect on that, maybe in your own life, maybe not in the game of hockey or on the ice, but maybe there's been times where there's been sting of defeat. Friends, this is why we walk this season of Lent. It is in these times, in these places, that Jesus will meet us. Earlier this past week, I was privileged to be at the provincial championships with my boys. They too felt the sting of defeat in double overtime, but I was privileged to come alongside them, sing the national anthem before the games, but also walk with their opponents, the FHS Black Cats, and capture for them some moments that will go with them for a lifetime. Through some of the trials that they have walked, losing a dear family member this season. And I'm reminded this week, friends, that even in life, through these difficulties, in the triumphs, in the victories, but yes, even in the defeat, Jesus is there. He came, and in his death, we find hope, because we know that that's not the end of the story. That's the hope that we have. And so that's the update that I want to bring to you today, what I've been a part of this past week. Thank you for your continued prayers and support as we walk this season of Lent together. I want to read for you today from Psalm 115. I'm not going to expand on it today, but I believe these words of Psalm 115 speak well to this season that we are in. Listen as I begin to read from verse 12. The Lord remembers us and will bless us. He will bless the people of Israel and bless the priests, the descendants of Aaron. He will bless those who fear the Lord, both great and lowly. May the Lord richly bless both you and your children. May you be blessed by the Lord who made heaven and earth. The heavens belong to the Lord, but he has given the earth to all humanity. The dead cannot sing praises to the Lord, for they have gone into the silence of the grave. But we can praise the Lord, both now and forever. Praise the Lord.
In my soul, I hear the music ring, and though the storms may come, I am holding on to the rock I cling. How can I keep from singing your praise? How can I say enough? How amazing is your love? How can I keep from shouting your name? you pick me up. Sing 'cause you're there. I can sing with you. Hear me, Lord, when I call to you in prayer. I can sing with my last breath. Sing, for I know that I'll sing with the angels and the saints around the throne. How can I keep from singing your praise? How can I ever say enough? How amazing is your love? How can I keep from shouting your name? I know I am loved by the King, and it makes my heart. I am loved by the King, and it makes my heart. I am loved by the King, and it makes my heart want to sing. I will sing of my Redeemer and his wondrous love to me. On the cruel cross he suffered from the curse to set me free. Sing, oh sing of my Redeemer. With his blood he purchased me. On the cross he sealed my pardon, paid the debt and made me free. I will tell the wondrous story, how my lost estate to save. In his boundless love and mercy, he the ransom freely gave. Sing, oh sing of my Redeemer. With his blood he purchased me. On the cross he sealed my pardon, paid the debt and made me free. You set me free, my ransom soul free. The darkness is over, beholding I see a living Redeemer, love healing me, forever forgiven. This love song I bring, you set me free. I will praise my dear Redeemer, his triumphant power I'll tell, how the victory he giveth over sin and death and hell. Sing, oh sing of my Redeemer. With his blood he purchased me. On the cross he sealed my pardon, paid the debt and made me free. You set me free, my ransom soul free. The darkness is over, beholding I see a living Redeemer, love healing me, forever forgiven. This love song I bring, you set me free, my ransom soul free. The darkness is over, beholding I see a living Redeemer, Take my voice and let me sing, always only for my King. Take my lips and let them be filled with messages from Thee. Take my silver and my gold, not a mite would I withhold. Take my intellect and use every power as You choose.
So here am I, all of me. Take my life, it's all for Thee. Here am I, all of me. Take my life, it's all for Thee.
Take my will and make it Thine. It shall be no longer mine. Take my heart, it is Thine own. It shall be Thy royal throne. Take my love, my Lord, I pour at Your feet, its treasure store. Take myself and I will be ever only all for Thee. Ever only all for Thee.
As I share a few thoughts with you today, I want to steal a phrase from Coach Gardner McDougall, as I was privileged to interview him earlier this week. And as he was sharing about what was so special about this group of young men from UNB, he shared with me, it's like a book that's never been written. Well, as I said earlier today, that book this season for the UNB Reds has come to a close. It's not the ending, it's not the final chapter that they were looking for. Coach McDougall and his staff have been privileged to walk with these young men and instill in them values that will be with them long after they have finished playing the game of hockey. And for that, Coach McDougall, I thank you. But coming back to his words, a book that has never been written. Coach McDougall was privileged to walk with these young men as their coach, yes, helping them to write this book. Here's the question, above all questions, I want to leave with you this week. Who is the author of your book? The book of your life that you are writing. Now, very quickly, you might jump up and say, well, Chris, it's me. Yes, it may be your book, but who is writing it? And if you jump up quickly and say, well, it's me, could it be, friend, that in those moments that when you and I do that, and I confess there are times when I do that as well, I jump up and I say, it's me, it's all about me. Can we pause and catch ourselves and remember that pride that is there? And that Jesus wants to come and meet us there and help us to deal with that pride. Deal with it in the midst of the pain, in the midst of the suffering. Jesus, in his final days, before the unimaginable suffering and death that he would walk through, he lived life to the fullest. And he did so in the community around him. He ate with them. He healed the sick. And he shared hope. This hope in the days that followed, it would be rejected. It would be laughed at. It would be mocked, beaten, and even put to death. Let me ask you, friend, Have you felt like hope has been put to death? Like the season is over? Like the final chapter of the book has been written? Maybe the suffering's too great. Maybe the pain feels unbearable. Friend, I invite you to take a closer look inside. Take a closer look at your heart. Because in these times, in these moments of despair, you still have your heart. And this is where Jesus will meet you. This is where Jesus will meet all humanity. That is where hope is found. And when hope seems lost, when you've suffered defeat one last time, Jesus is there. I want to share some words with you today from Henry Nouwen, because I believe Nouwen speaks of this so well. Even though Jesus went against the human inclination to avoid suffering and death, his followers realized that it was better to live the truth with open eyes than to live their lives in illusion of immortality. And then he goes on, and here's what I want you to catch. The core message of Jesus is that the real joy and peace can never be reached while bypassing suffering and death, but only going right through them. When we come to Jesus' words in the 23rd chapter of Matthew, and I want to thank our friends at Spoken Gospel for unpacking this so well. And I want to come back to the 7 sorrows that Jesus addresses. Take note here, friends, to whom Jesus is speaking. He's speaking to the people who believed they have put everything in place. They have done everything right. To the religious. And he says, you don't get it. You don't understand it. And oh, what sorrow awaits you, as the New Living Translation unpacks it. Friends, I wonder in this season that we're going through, this season when it feels like things might be desolate and times feel like we might be abandoned, what is the message that Jesus has for the church? Friends, I believe it can be summarized in the final couple of verses in the 23rd chapter. Jesus says, "O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, that city that kills the prophets and stones God's messengers. How often I have wanted to gather your children together as a hen protects her chicks beneath her wings, but you wouldn't let me. And now look, your house is abandoned and desolate. For I tell you this, you will never see me again until you say, blessings on the one who comes in the name of the Lord." There's that word bless again. We've read it often through these writings of Matthew. I shared a while back some of my own reflections on the season of 2021 and how it seemed like there was a lot of blame going around, that you and I, we need to shift our attitude from blaming others to blessing. And friends, that comes directly from what Jesus was teaching his followers here as Matthew records it for us. So what's at the core of all this? What's so central? Yes, as Nouwen points out, it is this message of peace. But if I may, again, recall, it was God our Father who said, "This is my Son. Listen to him." Jesus came as one who spoke with boldness and authority. He is the one that you and I can look to in these seasons of loss to know that this is not the end, but there still is hope. Perhaps when Jesus is saying, "Oh Jerusalem, how often have I wanted to gather your children? Your house, it looks abandoned and desolate." Could we perhaps today in 2022 replace those words with "Oh Fredericton, oh Fredericton"? Now again, folks, let me be clear. Jesus is not speaking to, and I am not speaking to just the general population. I'm speaking to those of us that have generally looked to follow Jesus, to be a Christian, to be his followers, and at times think we've got everything put in place and think we need to do this, that, and the other thing to make it look right. I can do this. I have control. Jesus, I've got this. When in reality, we need to humbly come before the foot of the cross and say, Jesus, I don't have control at all, but I can come to you because I know that you do. And when it seems like all hope is lost, God will meet you and he will meet me there. Friends, that is the hope for the church. That is the hope for the church in the city of Fredericton. When it seems like congregational sizes, the Sunday gatherings keeps getting smaller and smaller, it feels like the church is being abandoned. No, Jesus is still here, present now, with you, with me. Let's walk this time, and together, friends, let's be able to say, blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Why? Because it is there. That is where we find God. So go with him this week, friends. He is already where you are going.